Hello, greetings everyone. I'm Soul Traveler and this is the House of the Trident. Interesting topic we are going to treat today. And this is the second video I'm making in person. And it is with that I chose this particular topic because it is essential. It forms the basis of all teachings. Now, interesting topic. Forget God. Know thyself. I know a number of people who will object, will become angry with this. And before we begin, I would say that if every information that we share here is not for you, just move on. You don't even need to comment. It is important that you understand that you have all the power to stay or to leave. Forget God. Know thyself. I know that a lot of people and everyone watching this video will agree with me that the word God has remained the most important, widespread, most spoken word since the inception of the world. Next to the word love, it has been used more times than anyone cared to count. But do we really know God? What exactly do we know about God? And everything we know about anything, either we've been told, we've read, we've heard it, we were raised with it, it was inculcated into us by our culture, our educational system, our religion, our family, etc. So I ask, name one thing that you were not told, you were not taught, you did not hear from anyone, you did not feel it. One thing that holds true no matter what. You did not hear it from anyone. It was something that it was absolute truth within you. If you can name it, try to name it in the comment section if you can. And we would say that anything we know to be true, we were taught, we heard it, we saw it. The one thing that was absolute, that we were not taught, we did not hear it, we did not see it, we were not raised with it, is the reality that you are alive. Life that cannot be taught. It is the one thing that cannot be taught. You being alive, fully alive, cannot be taught. From the very beginning you came from your mother's womb, you knew this. Your first cry, your first scream, you knew this. You were not taught this. So what does that mean to be alive? Exactly. What does it mean? We are obsessed with labels. God, angels, devils. We aspire to know that which created us. Yet we know nothing about this we call life. We put the cart before the horse. We wish to decode the mysteries of the universe, and yet we know nothing about the very earth upon which we stand. How do you know you are alive? What is your life made of? Do you have the manual that is you? Are you in touch with the manual that teaches you how your biological, your entire human system works? And if you don't have the manual, then you don't know how this human system can be operated. If you don't know how to operate it, then you don't know how to use it to relate to anything else. So if your life system is working at a lower capacity, then everything that your life relates to, that perception, whatever you are perceiving, is operating at the same percentage. Your life system is working. It's as simple as that. So forget God. Know thyself. You are life in its totality. Let's take your mobile device. How does it work? All the settings and all the system, all the parts, all the pieces of the puzzle that comes together to form the mystery you call your mobile phone, your mobile device. How would you call it a mobile device if you cannot power it on? If you press the power button and it does not switch on, is it a mobile phone? Is it really a mobile phone if it cannot function as a mobile device? For it to function as a mobile device, it needs a power source, isn't it? So who are you? How does this system you call your humanity work so that you can take control of it? If you don't know how the radio works, how do you use the radio to connect to information wirelessly if you don't know how to operate the radio? So if you don't know how your human system works or what comes together to form your human system, how do you use it to tap into information that you need? Why are you busy searching for God when you know nothing about how your life is sustained? We don't deal with faith here, because you breathing in oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide is not based on faith. It's based on physical, explainable reality. So forget God, know thyself. It holds the mystery to the very mechanism that made you. How do you call yourself human without your ability to breathe? So your humanity is connected to the trees. Who are you without the elements of fire, earth, water, fire, earth, water, ether, and air? So who are you besides the elements? Let's take all the elements out of the equation that is your life, and let's see what remains. So when you get water, or you have fire, or you have earth, or you have the ether, who are you without water? Who are you without fire? So in order to understand a piece of the puzzle that is you, it requires you to understand the mechanism, the forces that define your existence. This is not faith. It is verifiable truth. If you cannot define who you are besides the elements, if you cannot define your humanity does not exist without water, and that forms a huge part of you, then it is important for you to understand how water keeps you alive, physically and spiritually. In that understanding is gratitude. And the feeling of gratitude is what opens the door within you to appreciate that which keeps you alive. This is where the path to the comprehension of a creator comes in. But before that, you need to know who you are. Nothing begins without it. So who are you without all the other things in nature that keeps you alive, that define your existence? We were the earth as a body, our body. We were the interconnection and the relationship between the elements as our body. So, who are you aside the earth, aside all of nature? Let's take all of that out of the equation, and then you realize nothing is left. Only consciousness. And with consciousness is the ability to be conscious of what is before you, your attention, to be aware. To be aware of what? To be aware of how your life energies work. We are obsessed with labels. If I ask the question, who are you? Many will say, I am an African, I am an American, I am black, I'm white, I am male, I'm female, I am this, I am that. To top of it all, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I am this, I am that. Then adding on to your cultural affiliations, your religious affiliations. Then we come to preferences. Blue is my favorite color, red is my favorite color. In order for red to be your favorite color, all the colors also have to be less favorite. But you are not all of these labels, are you? You are not. Everything in our world is trying to teach us, to give us a new identity that is not who we are. Everything around us is trying to educate you of who you are not. But you are life. And when you understand life that you are from this perspective, then you know that everything around you is part of you. And therefore you define who you are as a host of all of it. Who are you without the moon? Who are you without the sun? Who are you without the stars? Just take a moment to comprehend the immensity of this identity. All of it, the entire universe. It is because of the Sirius star that it reigns on earth. Look at how far away the Sirius star is, the star Sirius, away from the earth, and yet it is because of the Sirius star that it reigns on earth. That star is 60 times bigger than our sun. Therefore, the energy we get from the Sirius star is 60 times bigger than the energy we get from our sun. And yet, the sun governs our state of awakeness. When we are awake, the sun governs it, whilst the moon governs our sleep state, the state of sleeping, including the subconscious. So we have a greeting. Namaste. The God in me salutes the God in you. The Native Americans have a similar greeting in Lakesh Alakim, meaning I am another you. So the life essence, the powerhouse, the source of power that powers all creation, which we cannot define who we are without it. It is the same within me. It is the same that is shining the sun. It is the same that is establishing gravity. It is the same that is creating the tides of the oceans. And all of its realms are part of us. So if you are all of this, who do you think is God? Who do you think is God? You are busy raising up your hands, worshiping and praising, without appreciating the immensity of the miracle that you are. This is I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. The oneness. The one that is many and the many that is one. This is you. If you do not proceed or approach the divine with this understanding, everything that you will accumulate will be a step down, a lower truth. Take 8 billion people on earth. They are not just 8 billion individual expressions of humanity. 8 billion people expression as one being, as the macrocosm of the microcosm that is you and I. Take some time and consider the immensity of this identity. For if you fold all the 8 billion people, over 8 billion people on earth, if you fold them up 8 billion times, imagine 8 billion people as one sheet of paper. If you fold that one sheet of paper representing 8 billion human beings, if you fold that paper 8 billion times on itself, you get the individual you or I. Therefore, you are essentially 8 billion people at the very least, folded onto itself 8 billion times. That is you. This is not belief, this is not faith, nor doctrine. This is the truth of our reality as a race. So you have the mind, the body, the spirit. How do you know the constitution of your mind? Let's take some time to dig into it. Your subconscious mind holds your family bloodline, your ethnicity, your tribe. You have the conscious, that is you, the conscious mind, that is you, your sense of awareness, your ability to be aware of the life process that is going on within you and without. Then you have the collective unconscious, the group mind of humanity. We all behave the same way. In most cases, there are certain behaviors that are specific to the human being, and there are certain behaviors that are very specific to the animal kingdom. But we human beings have a particular group of settings that comes natural to us, all rooted in the collective unconscious. The same way that when we come to the race behaves differently a little bit. When we come to the tribe, it has its own set of behaviors and characteristics. The tribe has its own personality that differs from the next tribe to the next tribe to the next tribe. All of this are programming rooted within the subconscious. So if you cannot appreciate the immensity of that which we are calling the human, and how it is not an individual at all, it is truly a collective, then you cannot begin to approach that which the human can relate to. Because if this system you have, the human, is functioning at, let's say, 10% capacity, everything that this system is observing or relating to is going to come up as 10% quality. If you are functioning at less than 10% capacity, everything that this particular instrument is observing or relating to is operating on a 10% capacity. So who are you in your awareness of the life process that is going on around you? Nature has its own way of playing tricks on us to make us believe in separation, that we are individuals, but really we are not. When you approach that river or that lake or that mighty ocean, the ratio of water to earth of the planet is 75% at the very least. This is the same ratio of the water content within you and I. So when you stand before any water, ocean or river or pond or lake, know that you are before an aspect of your own greater body, because we wear the earth as our body. This is why only human beings can truly destroy the earth, or to make it better than what it already was. This is our capacity. So forget God. Who are you? When you stand on the earth or you walk through the forest, you are walking through your greater body. All of this is you. And just as you have responsibility to your own self to make sure that you don't get hurt, you take care of yourself to make sure that your biological system is of the utmost integrity. It is that same responsibility you must bring to your greater body, nature, as you walk through it. This is you. Where does the worship of God start, and the responsibility to nature end? The two are one and the same. You are one with nature, and nature is you. We are part of nature, and until you know your place within it as a steward, you cannot understand what worship truly is. For worship is responsibility. Worship is duty. Worship is understanding and living from that perspective of understanding. Because if you knew, understood from wisdom that all that you see around you, the very air you breathe, that breath of life, you have responsibility to make sure it is clean, not just for you, but for everyone else. That when all is not well within the expanse of nature, all is not well within you. It is the relationship between the infinitely large and the infinitely small. We live in a fractal universe, and everything is connected to everything else. We learn in our schools of the anatomy of the human body. How well are you versed in the anatomy of the human soul? Do you know there is such a thing as the anatomy of the human soul? You read about respiratory system, excretory system, the senses. What exactly do you know about the makeup, the architecture, the manual of the soul? If you don't even know something as basic as your life essence, how then do you approach that which made it, or that which brought it into existence? We are the only ones who are conscious of our life process. We are the only ones with that consciousness, with that awareness, to be aware of our life process, or how life operates around us, and to understand from this perspective of the complexities of life. This understanding within itself is gratitude for the support that we have to define our lives as humans. Without this support, we are not human. We are not alive. The only absolute truth is that you and I are alive. And what that means, and to live from that truth, is the definition of worship. It is not about setting some time aside to sing praises. When you drink water, or when you stand before the mighty ocean, you know you are home. Like your mobile devices that runs out of battery life, and you have to reconnect it to the power source to recharge the battery. You drink water knowing that you are replenishing your life. It does not judge. The elements do not discriminate. And when you understand that, and you know that you have responsibility to make sure that the elements within you are at peace, be the change you want to see in the world. If everyone is doing the same, making sure that the elements within them is at peace, automatically there is peace in the world. Since we wear the world as a body, everything that is playing out within us, the anxieties, the insecurities, the confidence, the pain, the anger, all of it is playing out in the microcosm, in the larger context in the world. If you are a bully right here, another nation is rising against another nation, trampling upon the rights of another somewhere else, globally. If you are indifferent to the very essential things that is happening in your life, if you are indifferent to it, out there globally, there's war, there's famine, there is suffering, and yet greater part of the world remains indifferent. So everything that is happening within you is also playing out in the world. We are really not 8 billion people. It's one huge entity operating and expressing 8 billion times. This is from the perspective of the larger being you call the universe. This is how the universe sees humanity. And if you do not see humanity from this perspective, if you not define your humanity from this perspective, you cannot even begin to approach that which you call creator. For the life essence that is ensuring your existence is the same life essence that is shining the sun, establishing gravity. This is humanity. So forget God. Because you don't even know the first thing about yourself enough to understand the very hands that made it. Know who you are. That is the perspective, the only true perspective. So know thyself of who you are. You, the one looking at me, listening, watching this video, ask yourself, who is watching this video through your eyes? Your eyes are just vessels. They are just tools. Ask yourself now, who is the one watching this video? The name that you were given by your parents is not the one. Who is this one? Who is watching this video through those pair of eyes? That is who you are. But are you aware of what that is? Are you aware of the manual that came with this body, this human system? Are you aware of the manual? Every machine has a manual. We have studied how the plants work, how a lot of nature work. But we know very little about how this human system, for much of it, work. And that is the sad truth. And yet that is what holds the secrets to whatever our life represents. So know the manual and work with it. Because the families that you were born into can only recognize just a tiny piece of the settings and pretend that the rest of the manual doesn't exist. Your education, your religion, your tribe, all of that, the world you live in, can only recognize a small part of the settings and pretend the others don't exist. Because if all that manual, all that setting is going to be brought online, a lot of the influence that is happening right in front of your noses, which you know nothing about, will cease. So, if you have the analogy of the mobile device, no one really uses every setting in a mobile device. We use it to make calls, video calls, everything. We send text messages. We use it to browse the internet. But if someone else discovered another setting within the mobile device and uses those settings, isn't it childish for you to assume that that person is evil because he managed to utilize a particular setting that is also on your mobile device? Isn't it intelligent to learn how that person discovered that setting which also exists in your mobile device? This analogy applies to you. So if you've come across a wisdom and knowledge that happens to bring out something that is mysterious within you or I, it only brings up humility to understand that you have nothing to lose but to gain, to become more than you were yesterday. Know who you are. Forget God. Know thyself. I would ask many people, who are you? They would say, well, the religious people would say, I'm a child of God. You are a child of God. God, you don't know. Every accumulated information you've known about this so-called God came from external sources. You, personally, don't know. Because you don't know who you are. What you think you know about yourself, you were told. I'm not asking what you think you are. What you know you are. The absolute truth that you are alive and therefore you are life. Life is that which is alive. What you are is not a concept. It is not a label. It is a truth. And that is life. You are life. For you are a child of life. Only that which is life produces life. So why are you busy searching for something that you already are? You are a child of God. How do you know this when you have no idea who you are? Only by understanding who you are, then you can project Because a fractal universe, you can project. It's a matter of magnitude. The infinitely small and the infinitely large. An elephant is the same as an elephant 1,000 times bigger than the smaller elephant. If you have a baby elephant or an adult elephant, and you are able to project the size of that elephant, expand it to 1,000,000 times bigger, it is exactly the same elephant. If you have a circle, you draw a circle, no matter how small the circle is, and then you draw a much infinitely bigger circle, it will have the same properties. Pi r square. The smaller circle has the exact same properties of the much infinitely larger circle. So it's a matter of magnitude. This is why the rate at which you are devoid of knowledge of who you are is directly proportional to the rate at which you know nothing about the larger universal being. So what we have is putting the cart before the horse, decoding the mysteries of the universe whilst we know nothing about the earth upon which we stand. So instead of trying the futile effort to know what God is, know who you are, how you function, if you understand this, then the only mandate is to make sure that you function at your highest capacity, because it is your highest capacity that will afford you the opportunity to embrace the bigger aspect of you, the larger you, the creator you. So forget God. Concentrate on how you are made and how to make that function to the optimum capacity. This is you. This is you. And every step of the way, as you try every day to make sure that this biological energetic system runs at its highest capacity, that act of making sure that you function at a higher capacity is worship. Is worship. Because every action you take to make sure that you function at your best will naturally affect how you relate to your natural environment. If you care about the life energies that you carry, if it is sacred to you, the rivers and the lakes, the forest will likewise be sacred. Every animal life or plant life will be sacred. And every food you get from nature will be tended with gratitude. Let's do an experiment right now. All ones watching this video, you block one part of your nose, breathe through the other for about 5 minutes. Do that. Then after that, switch. Block this part, breathe through the other for about another 5 minutes. Just that. Just that. Test how the element of air, the breath of life, sustains you, and how just by manipulating it a bit with knowledge changes how your life energies react. Do this little experiment, simple experiment. You see how peaceful, you see how at peace your biological system would be. There is stillness, there's tranquility. This system may not exist in Christianity. This simple act or activity may not exist in your religion. So you believe that it is evil, or it's not allowed, or forbidden wisdom. That would imply that you, the Christian or Muslim or whatever religion you subscribe to, is aware of all the system, the entire manual that is humanity. You don't have it. And if you consider yourself a seeker of truth, how can you then determine where the truth should be? If you are seeking for the truth, there's only the energy of humility that leads you, because you don't know where to find it. The only way you can judge the truth is how that information or that wisdom you are accumulating, how that makes your biological or your energetic or your spiritual system function better. If whatever you are applying allows your human system to function better than before you got that knowledge, keep it. What are you afraid of? Advancement of your human system is not competition. You are not competing with anything, and you really do not owe your religion anything. It is something you did not choose. You chose to accept this knowledge or that knowledge. You have that power. You are the one in authority. So if you have embraced some information, you've applied it, and then later on you are exposed to another information that forces you to discard the old one. When did you swear an oath of allegiance to the previous knowledge? You did not. You have not sworn any oath of allegiance to the previous knowledge. You owe that previous knowledge nothing. So with humility, be proud of learning something new. You can only become better, function better, and approach the universe better. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, share, let me know your comments, what you think. Don't forget to hit the notification button so that more of these videos will come. You'll be alerted. Peace be unto you all. This is Soul Traveler, House of the Trident.